All my life I was looking for the best place for me to work. So I was always trying to find different places to do my work, to study, to learn, to write emails, to communicate. And I've tried everything. I worked at home, I worked in coffee places. In Vienna there's these huge study rooms where hundreds of people sitting together in a room and are really eager to study and fall asleep while they do. And all of them have their pros and cons. And I realized that now, as a person who is doing projects, none of them really fits to me. At home, I always start to cook and to clean, and I get lost. And my kitchen table is my working table, is my lunch table, is my working table, is everything together, and it gets a big mess. In the coffee house, it's too loud. In the student place, I'm not allowed to phone, or there's no meeting spaces. And also, I don't really need an office on my own. I have my laptop, I have my projects, I have my mobile phone, so I can work from everywhere. So where is a good place for me to work, and how does that work? And in the last years, all over Europe and US and maybe everywhere, co-working spaces popped up. And I realized that that's just a perfect combination for me, because it really bridges all what I need. It gives me a focused place where I can work. I can invite people. I have all the facilities I need. It's also working energy, so other people are working, and that inspires me. And so I decided also to start my own small co-working space, and I just love these creative co-working space surroundings. But what are these co-working spaces? So it's maybe two big distinguishers. One are real spaces, and the other thing is the idea of a co-working space that can be made everywhere. But more important maybe is these real co-working spaces that you will find in most of the major cities all over Europe. And it's just a shared office space where a lot of people come together, work on their own projects, and they share the facilities. So me, as I would never have a meeting space and a venue for an event and a printer and a beamer and all these things, we sort of share it together. So we have a big office together. Sometimes it's big, sometimes it's small. But we share all of these facilities as different people. And that gives me a great freedom, because I can have a big meeting with many people, and I have a meeting room. I can have a presentation on my project, and I could have a beautiful venue to do it. And that's just great. And I think beside this hardware of all the things that are there, one of the most important things, at least for me, is the common culture that awakes when people are working together. Because what I realize when being in a co-working space is, on the one hand, sometimes I'm tired and I don't want to work, and then there's another person that can just make a break and talk about nonsense. Or another person is supporting me in what I do. Or I have a question on a specific topic, and I can just go to Jorge and ask him, hey, how did the hell you do it? I'm stuck here. Can you give me feedback on what I'm doing? Or sometimes I don't know how to continue, and it's just an open ear to help me. And I think this social architecture of people working next to each other on their own projects, but they're willing to support and listen to each other, really creates a bigger entity of, like, I feel more strong with the support of all the other people. And this culture of co-creation, of support, of cooperation is so much needed in our world, and especially if you're new in a business, new in starting something, you don't have so many colleagues, you're not so familiar with all the things that are happening, and then there's other people who listen and support to you, and you can have good breaks with other people. I think it's just great. And of course, there is many different ways to do it. There's some co-working spaces are more have a specific target group, like social entrepreneurs. Other work more with IT people. Next ones are very small and are for a small community in a small village. So there's also like-minded people are coming together, and they know what the atmosphere, what the whole thing is about, and they can work also on a common, it's a little bit like working on a common goal, but many different people looking in the same direction, all doing their thing, but as a field, we are walking forward, and that's just great. And beside these real spaces of a co-working space that have a website and you can go there, there's also the idea or the strategy of a co-working space that can pop up everywhere. And I think everybody of us has done it when we've been studying or learning for school, just to invite friends to learn together or to study together, and it's just much more fun. And the co-working space can be set up wherever we are with friends. So you can use your living room and say, come on friends, let's have a session together where we all work, and if we need a break, we have a break together. If one is cooking for all the others, and then we swap, and then we support each other. And it's also something you can use in a workshop. When there's people working on the projects, there's sometimes the biggest need is to get things done. And you're sitting together in the room and everybody's getting things done. It's like an energy that is infectious, or it's other people are getting inspired by it. So it's also a quality that you can use within a workshop. Just put some tables, open a co-working space. Maybe the people say in the beginning what support, what are they working on, and if somebody else can support them, and then a very self-organized co-working space can take place. So if you want to work in a co-working space, just have a look on the internet where there's the next co-working space in your surrounding. And if there's none or you don't want to join another one, just invite some other friends to come together, work with you, and then have a good evening together.